First I milled 400 grams of wheat berries. I used 330 hard white and then 70 kamut. Then I'm gonna put 25 grams of the milled flour into this cup. And then I'm gonna add 50 grams of boiling water to it. Oops. That's because I'm holding the camera. I added a little too much, so I'm just gonna add a little more flour to even out. But anyway, it's 25 grams of flour to 50 grams of boiling water, and then you mix it into this paste. And I think that's called Udane or something. So I just mix that together, and then I'll show you the next. Okay, so after I've made this paste, I just kind of let that sit, and I'm going to add 310 grams of water. Then I'm gonna do 10 grams of salt and then 10 grams of sugar. So it's just equal parts, and I use my honey granules. Okay, and then salt. Then I'm going to plop this Udane that I made in here. And then I'm gonna add the remaining flour, which should be roughly, since I took 25 grams out, should be roughly 375 grams. Just showing you how easy this is. You kind of let the flour and water mixture combine so it can autolyze or whatever it's called. And then after this is all just kind of, there's no dry flour left, I'll let it sit for 30 minutes, and then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, I was in a hurry and I forgot to add the lecithin, so I'm just adding 5 grams of lecithin inside of this mixture as I incorporate. Let it all get mixed in together before it autolyzes, and the yeast goes last, so we'll do the yeast later. Okay, turn on. Okay, so I always leave that on top so I remember to add the yeast. And it's been longer than 30 minutes, but that's okay because it doesn't have yeast in it, so it just sat there and autolyzed. And all you do is turn this on, you incorporate the yeast, and pretty much once it's incorporated, you set it on the highest setting, and you let it mill on the highest setting for about 5 minutes, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And you know it's done when it's basically started climbing the whisk here. So now you know it's done. That was about 5 minutes of mixing on very high speed. And so then I've prepared a lightly oiled dish that I will put that into, and then close it up and let it sit for 30 minutes, and then I'll do my first stretch and fold. And just so you know, when I take it out, this is basically what it looks like. And that's, I think, perfect. And then I'll use this to scrape everything off the sides. Okay, this is what it looks like after 30 minutes. And here's my first stretch and fold. I wet my hands just a little bit, and just, I'm sure you've seen this a million times, but it's just all I do. On all 4 sides. And then usually what I do is I'll roll it up and kind of put the seams on the bottom, and I'll just kind of roll it into a ball, just as tight as I can. It's hard to do it while I'm holding the camera, but there you go. And then I'll cover it and let it sit for another 30 minutes. Okay, here we are with the second stretch and fold, same exact thing. At least 4 times I go around, and then I flip it under and roll it tight. See how nice and round and smooth and perfectly easy to form. All right, another 30 minutes. Okay, so here I come with the third stretch and fold, and same exact thing. I think if you're short on time, you're definitely able to do this just 3 times and get away with it, maybe even 2 times, but I like to do it 4 times. So this is my third. And on the next stretch and fold, after I do it, I'm gonna put it in a different dish. So I'll show you that. Okay, so for the last stretch and fold, I'm gonna do the same thing that I've been doing. Turn, fold, turn, fold. It gets a little harder to do that, but I'll still do it, and then I'll kind of try to shape it in the shape of my, the shape that I'm gonna cook it as. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put it in this thing, and I'm gonna put it in the fridge. Just like that. I'm gonna cover it, but I will let it sit here in the fridge like this for 30 minutes, or honestly until I'm ready to cook it. So it can sit in there for 24 hours if you need to. Okay, so after 25 minutes, you want to remove the lid. Oh, I knew this would happen. It got stuck to the lid. Shoot, Janet, it's not ever usually like this. Well, actually it's happened before, that's how I know. But anyway, you remove the lid, and then you let it cook for another 10 minutes in the oven at 450 degrees. Okay, it's been 10 minutes, and come closer. And then this is how the bread looks. Come closer. And you can see if that didn't happen to the top, that wouldn't have, all that wouldn't have happened, but you can see what a nice crispy bread this is. So I just let it cool and then cut it up and eat it. So it still tastes really good. And this is actually my favorite part. And that's how it looks when it's cut open. And if the top didn't come off like it did, it's still a very soft, stretchy bread.